Sometimes it's not about moving forward, but about stopping, looking around and accepting that the life you're leading no longer represents you. Starting over is not a weakness. It's having the courage to admit that you deserve more. Most people fear change because they associate it with loss, when in reality, it's the only way to recover. Restarting doesn't take away anything that still serves you. It only rips out what is already consuming you. Many prefer to stay in the known, even if it slowly destroys them. They call stability what is truly fear, and attachment what is really habit. But there's a point where pretending becomes unbearable, where maintaining an empty life weighs more than the leap into the void. It's there where the truth imposes itself, where the soul demands renewal and forces you to choose between continuing to survive or starting to live with purpose. Restarting is not running away. It's clearing the ground. It's saying enough to what drains your energy and opening space for what you truly deserve. It's breaking with the noise, the expectations, and the masks that no longer fit you. Because every time you refuse to change, you're refusing to grow. And every time you dare to let go, you get a little closer to your true essence. So stop waiting for the perfect moment. No one is ready to be reborn. It happens in the midst of chaos, when the silence becomes unbearable and the soul screams for freedom. Starting over is not a failure. It's the bravest act of self-love you can make. When be reborn without asking for permission, nobody is going to give you the authorization to start over. And if you wait for them to do so, you're going to get stuck in a life that no longer belongs to you. Rebirth is not a public act, nor does it need witnesses. It's a silent decision, made in the depths of the mind, when you understand that staying the same would be betraying yourself. Most people don't change because they seek approval before moving, because they need others to validate their process. But rebirth is not negotiated with anyone. It's done alone, without asking for permission, without justifying it, without explanations. People won't understand why you disappear, why you distance yourself, why you change, and they don't have to. You don't need to defend your evolution before those who feel comfortable watching you fade. There are stages that are lived in solitude because they are the fire where a new identity is forged. Don't expect understanding, expect resistance. When you start to transform, many will feel uncomfortable. Not because you're doing something wrong, but because your change reminds them that they don't dare to do it. To be reborn is to disobey the old version of yourself. It's looking at your fears and telling them, you no longer control me. It's stopping acting out of guilt and starting to act out of conviction. It's not about becoming someone new, but about remembering who you were before fear shaped you. The world will tell you that you've changed, and that's exactly what you should do. Changing is surviving. Changing is evolving. The opposite is resigning yourself to live on autopilot, clinging to a story that no longer makes sense. There comes a time when you realize that everything you lost was necessary to find yourself. Each disappointment, each ending, each fall was a call to rebirth. It's not about rebuilding yourself as before, but about being reborn, more aware, wiser, more real. Don't seek to be the one before, because the one before didn't know what you now know. Life doesn't reward those who wait for something to change. It rewards those who decide to break their own cycle. If you're afraid to start over, remember this: fear only protects the dead zone where nothing new can bloom. No one will understand why you distanced yourself from certain people, why you gave up what seemed stable, or why you no longer fit where you used to. But the truth is that when you wake up, the old no longer makes sense. Being reborn without asking for permission is an act of dignity. It's looking at the world and saying, I'm not going to live asleep anymore. It's leaving behind what gave you identity, but not peace. It's daring to start from scratch, even if no one believes in you, even if everything seems uncertain. Because the real power is not in controlling what surrounds you, but in daring to transform yourself despite it. So don't ask for permission to heal, to start, to be different. No one has the authority to decide when you free yourself. If you're feeling the urge to restart, listen to it. That call is not weakness, it's wisdom. It means that you already understood that what you were brought you here, but it won't take you any further. And it's right there, at that breaking point, where your rebirth really begins. 2. Let go of what no longer vibrates with you. Holding on is one of the most silent forms of self-destruction. We do it without noticing, out of fear, out of habit, or out of loyalty to what once did us good. But everything that does not evolve with you ends up draining you. Let go of what no longer vibrates with you, even if it hurts. Because what does not fit in your present has no place in your future. Life has a cruel but accurate way of showing you when something has fulfilled its cycle. It becomes heavy. Conversations feel forced, places lose their shine, people stop inspiring you. But instead of letting go, you insist. You tell yourself that you're just tired, that everything will be as it was before, when deep down you already know it won't. The problem is that we have learned to resist even what is killing us. Letting go does not always mean losing. Sometimes it means that you finally understood the value of your energy, that you are no longer willing to invest time in what extinguishes you, in what forces you to pretend, in what does not allow you to move forward. What is left without soul is not repaired by insisting, it is repaired by letting go. But not everyone has the courage to do it, because letting go hurts more than staying stuck. Until one day you understand that holding on to what is broken also hurts, but senselessly. Let go, not out of anger, but out of respect. Because you deserve to surround yourself with what propels you, not what holds you back. Love, friendship, projects, beliefs. Everything has a point where it either grows with you or becomes a burden. Not everything that accompanied you to this point deserves to continue with you. Some things were only meant to teach you, not to stay. Sometimes the wisest thing you can do is close the door without drama, with the certainty that your peace is worth more than any bond that demands you to diminish yourself. The most common mistake is to believe that letting go leaves you empty, when in reality, it leaves you free. And freedom can be scary at first because it implies silence, space, uncertainty. But it also implies power. The power to rebuild your environment from coherence, from what really does you good. When you let go, you regain control. You no longer react from need, but from choice. Do not feel guilty for letting go. You do not owe permanence to anything or anyone that makes you feel small. If something no longer vibrates with you, it's because your frequency changed, and that is evolution. Authentic connections do not break with growth. They strengthen. Those that disappear were held by a version of you that no longer exists. The act of letting go is a natural filter. It only lets through what resonates with your new stage. It is the most silent way of telling the universe, I am ready for something better. And when you do, life responds. People, opportunities, and paths that vibrate at the same frequency as your truth begin to arrive. So let go without fear. What stays out of habit extinguishes you. What leaves by destiny frees you. Do not hold on to what has already ended, because the old needs to go so that the new can find you. It is not a loss, it is a cleansing, and only those who dare to empty themselves can be reborn. 3. Listen to the call of change. Change does not always come with soft signals. Sometimes it bursts in like a storm that destroys what you thought was stable. It shakes you, it discomforts you, it forces you to move, even if you don't want to. And that's okay. Because life is not punishing you, it's pushing you to wake up. The problem is that many confuse discomfort with bad luck, when in reality it's an invitation to transform. Listening to the call of change requires brutal honesty. It means to stop justifying what no longer works. It means admitting that something inside you is asking for a different direction. But most ignore that voice because they fear the unknown. They prefer to stay in the familiar, even if it's slowly killing them. They convince themselves that the discomfort will pass, that things will feel good again, and they don't understand that life doesn't scream to scare you, it screams to wake you up. Change doesn't ask if you're ready, it just comes. It takes away what you don't need, distances you from those who no longer add value, and puts you in front of yourself without disguises. It's the mirror that shows you the truth without filters. You can deny it, resist it, or listen to it, but sooner or later you will have to do it. And when you do, you discover that change was not the enemy, it was the door. Every crisis has a purpose. It's not about destroying you, but about reordering you. Sometimes life disarms you because what you built was not aligned with your essence. What hurts is not the change, it's your attachment to the old version of you. The soul evolves, but the ego clings. And if you don't tame it, you'll end up living in a story that has already ended. Listening to the call of change requires courage, because many times that voice asks you to give up what you thought was indispensable. It asks you to leave a job, end a relationship, move, start from scratch. Not because change seeks to destroy you, but because it wants to free you from what no longer supports your growth. Every time you ignore that call, the internal noise gets louder, until one day, everything collapses. And although you think you lost, you have actually been redirected. Don't look for extraordinary signs. Change doesn't always come with drama. Sometimes it feels like fatigue, like a conversation you no longer enjoy, like a routine that has become empty. These are small alerts from the soul asking you to move. Listen to them before life has to scream at you. When you decide to respond to change, fear doesn't disappear, but it becomes part of the process. You face it with the awareness that what's coming may be uncertain, but what you're leaving behind no longer has life. Listening to that call doesn't make you fickle, it makes you wise. Because true courage is not in resisting the inevitable, but in accepting it with dignity. So stop waiting for things to go back to the way they were. You're not going backwards. You're not getting lost, you're finding yourself. Change is not the end of your story, it's the chapter where you start living with purpose. And whoever learns to listen to the call of change never settles for an empty life again. 4. Move forward without certainties, with faith. You're not going to have all the answers. You won't know if it will turn out well, if it will hurt less, or if you'll find what you're looking for. But move forward anyway. Life doesn't wait for you to understand everything to start moving. Sometimes clarity comes after the leap, not before. Waiting for certainties is fear's most elegant disguise. It's the perfect excuse to stay still while time keeps running. Moving forward without certainties doesn't mean acting without thinking. It means trusting your instinct, even when the path looks blurry. Because if you only move when everything is guaranteed, you'll never get to know what you could really be. Nobody transforms from comfort. Faith is not measured in the days when everything flows, but in the days when you feel everything is falling apart, and yet you take one more step. There are moments where logic falls short, where strategies are useless, and all you have left is to believe. Believe in what you're building, even if no one sees it. Believe in your process, even if it seems slow. Believe in yourself, even when your results don't confirm it yet. Because growth is not seen at the beginning, it's felt. And that feeling of uncertainty is not weakness, it's a sign that you're leaving behind the old to enter new territory. The problem is that we were educated to fear the void, to think that not knowing is failing. But great changes start right there, in the space where nothing is certain. Faith doesn't give you guarantees, it gives you direction. It's the compass that guides you when there's no map, the inner voice that tells you, keep going, even though the mind screams, stop. Moving forward with faith is not naivety, it's rebellion. It's challenging fear, looking it in the eyes and keep walking. It's understanding that security is not in the external, but in your ability to get up again and again. There are people who never change because they need someone to assure them the result before trying. But life doesn't work like that. If you wait for certainty, you stagnate. If you move forward with faith, you grow. Remember this, you're not lost, you're in motion. Each uncertain step takes you away from the life you pretended and brings you closer to the one that belongs to you. You may not see the destination, but you're no longer the same person who started the journey, and that's already progress. Moving forward with faith is trusting that each fall has its purpose, that each silence has its answer, and that nothing destined for you will be lost due to doubt. Sometimes faith feels like walking in the dark with a small candle. It doesn't illuminate everything, but it shows you the next step. And that's enough. The important thing is not to have all the certainties, but to have the determination not to give up, even if you don't have them. Because whoever moves forward with faith sooner or later ends up finding what they were looking for. So keep going, even with fear, even without understanding. You don't need to see the end to know it's worth it. What you build with faith, time confirms. 5. Honor your past, but move on. Your past is not your prison, it's your foundation. But many get stuck in it as if it were a dead-end cell. They live revisiting what they did, what they lost, what didn't turn out as they hoped. And without realizing it, they turn memory into a sentence. Honoring your past doesn't mean looking back. It means being thankful for what was, learning from it and moving forward with more wisdom. It's not about erasing your history, but understanding it. Everything you've lived, the good and the bad, brought you here. Every mistake, every breakup, every disappointment was a silent training to become who you are today. But when you use it to justify your paralysis, you're betraying it. The past doesn't ask you to relive it, it asks you to honor it through your evolution. There are those who stay living in nostalgia because the past, although painful, was familiar to them. They convince themselves that they've already lived their best moments, that nothing will ever feel the same again. But that's a lie of fear. The past wasn't perfect, it was just known. What hurts is not leaving it behind, but accepting that you can't go back to being who you were. Honoring your past is looking at your scars without shame. It's saying, yes, that's who I was, that's what I did, that hurt me, but I'm still here. It's understanding that you can't change what happened, but you can decide what to do with it now. Whether you carry it as a burden or use it as a drive. People who evolve don't forget their history. They transform it into wisdom. Each memory can be a wound or a lesson, you decide the meaning. There are people who will remember you only for what you were, not for what you're building. Let them go. They're not meant to accompany you in this new chapter. If your past haunts you, don't run, face it. Be grateful for what it taught you and close it with dignity. Not everything that made sense before will make sense now. Sometimes, letting go of a story is the deepest way to honor it. You can't move forward with both hands, clinging to what's already over. Life doesn't flow backwards. The water doesn't return to the spring, and neither do you. The past fulfilled its function, to shape you, to break you, to prepare you. Now its duty is over. What's coming needs your hands free, your mind clear, and your heart willing. Honoring your past is a form of respect, but moving on is a form of self-love. Because staying there is like visiting a grave every day, hoping that the memory will bring you back to life. It won't. The past is only valuable when it propels you, not when it stops you. So look at it one last time with gratitude. Acknowledge everything you survived, everything you learned, everything you lost. And then move on. Not out of forgetfulness, but out of evolution. Because nothing you've lived was in vain, but it no longer defines you. Your story doesn't end where you suffered. It begins where you decided not to give up. 6. Choose peace over approval. The need to be accepted is one of the heaviest chains a person can drag. It's invisible, but it subdues you. It makes you say yes when you want to say no. It forces you to smile when you're broken, and it leads you to act according to what others expect from you, not according to who you really are. Choosing peace over approval is to stop living as a reflection of others' expectations and start living in coherence with yourself. Approval is addictive. Every time someone validates you, you feel a momentary relief, as if your existence made sense for seconds. But then it goes away, and you seek another dose. And without realizing it, you become an actor in your own life. You change your words, your gestures, your decisions, just to not discomfort. And the more you do it, the further you move away from yourself. Peace, on the other hand, doesn't need witnesses. It doesn't depend on likes, compliments, or acceptance. It is born when you can look at your decisions and feel at peace with them, even if no one understands them. Peace is silent but firm. It doesn't seek to impress, it seeks to liberate. When you choose peace over approval, you lose audience, but you gain authenticity, and that is priceless. Many people can't stand to see someone free because it reminds them of their own cage. If you decide to be true to yourself, prepare for criticism. They will call you selfish, distant, different. They will make you feel guilty for choosing your well-being. But the truth is, whoever is offended by your peace benefited from your chaos. You're not being cruel, you're being consistent. Stop asking for permission to be you. Stop explaining yourself. No one else lives inside your mind. No one feels what you feel. No one pays the price for your decisions. You didn't come into the world to meet expectations. You came to fulfill purpose. Every time you give up your truth to please someone, you lose a part of yourself. And there comes a point where there's nothing left. Peace is non-negotiable. If a relationship, a routine, or a conversation takes away your tranquility, it's a clear sign you're in the wrong place. Peace is the most accurate compass there is. It doesn't need arguments, just attention. If something drains you, weighs you down, or makes you doubt yourself, don't justify it. Walk away. Distance is also self-love. Seeking approval is a habit that is broken with courage. It's to stop looking outward and start listening to yourself. It's to choose silence over explanation, calm over acceptance. Because when you finally understand that you don't need to be understood by everyone, you regain your power. The day you start choosing peace, everything will change. You'll lose people, yes, but you'll also lose anxiety, guilt, and exhaustion. You'll be left with less, but that less will be real. There will be no masks, no noise, no fear. Just you, living in coherence with what you feel. And that state, that internal freedom, is the closest thing you'll have to true happiness. So stop seeking approval where you should only seek serenity. You don't need to be understood. You need to be at peace. Because when you choose peace, even if the world doesn't applaud you, your soul does. 7. Create space for the new. Nothing new can enter a life saturated with the old. And yet, many ask for changes while clinging to everything that already exhausts them. They want to move forward, but they don't let go. They want to grow, but they carry what weighs them down. They want to receive, but they don't leave space. Renewal doesn't happen by magic. It happens when you decide to empty yourself of what no longer makes sense. Creating space for the new doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it means being alone for a while, leaving behind people, routines, or places that once gave you security. It's the price of expansion, losing the familiar to gain the essential. The human mind fears emptiness because it associates it with loss, but the truth is that this emptiness is the ground where the new can flourish. As long as you are full of what doesn't serve you, life can't give you what you deserve. You can't receive clarity if you cling to noise, nor can you attract peace if you're surrounded by chaos. Each thing you choose to hold takes up a space that could be used by something better. And when you finally understand it, you stop being afraid to let go. Creating space is not just cleaning the external, it's cleaning the internal. It's removing thoughts that no longer represent you, beliefs that limit your vision, resentments that keep you anchored to the past. It's looking within and asking yourself, what parts of me have already fulfilled their function? What habits keep me away from who I want to be? You can't evolve if you insist on carrying versions of yourself that have already died. The universe doesn't fill saturated spaces. It can't give you new opportunities while you're still holding on to old stories. That's why many times life takes away what you didn't have the courage to leave. And even though you call it loss, it's order. What leaves makes space for what belongs to you. But that process requires trust. Trust that what comes will be better than what left, even though you can't see it yet. There will be times when you'll feel that everything disappears, friendships, projects, illusions. But in reality, you're not losing, you're being cleansed. You're being prepared. The new doesn't come to complete the old, it comes to replace it. Light can't enter a room that's never aired. Growth can't arise where there's only fear of change. Creating space for the new is an act of faith and courage. It's telling the universe, I'm ready, I trust. Not from desperation, but from the conviction that everything you're letting go no longer vibrates with you. Sometimes the silence after the void can scare, but it can also be the sound of something extraordinary approaching. Don't fear being left with nothing. Fear staying with what no longer allows you to move forward. Stages end because you're ready for another version of you. And that version doesn't born among the saturated. It's born in the space you create by letting go. So clean, remove, close, let go. Not like someone who loses, but like someone who prepares. What's coming can't find you if you're still hidden among what you're no longer. Leave space. Life doesn't take away what belongs to you. It empties you of the unnecessary so you can receive what you truly deserve. 8. Tremble, but do it anyway. Fear does not disappear. No matter how much you read, how much you meditate, or how much you grow, it's always going to be there, watching you from the corner, waiting for the moment when you hesitate. And that moment comes every time you're about to do something that matters. Because what truly transforms your life scares you. If it doesn't give you vertigo, it probably won't take you anywhere new. Tremble, but do it anyway. Don't wait to feel ready, because absolute preparation does not exist. Whoever waits to not be afraid waits a lifetime. Growth is built on movement, not comfort. Every step you take with fear is a declaration of power. You're telling life, I can tremble, but I don't back down. Fear tells you stories to stop you. It tells you that you will fail, that you will make a fool of yourself, that you are not prepared. And if you listen to it too much, it convinces you. But fear does not disappear by facing it with words. It weakens with action. What once paralyzed you becomes insignificant when you do it anyway. Because bravery is not the absence of fear, it is the decision to move forward despite it. There are people who live trapped in the when. When I have money, when I have time, when I'm ready. They repeat it like a prayer without realizing that that when never comes. And while they wait, life goes by. The truth is harsh. You're not going to have everything figured out. You're not going to feel 100% secure. And yet you must move, because imperfect action always beats perfect waiting. Tremble, but do it anyway, because fear is part of the process, not an obstacle. If you feel it, it means you're stepping out of the dead zone, that you're moving towards the unknown, and that's where evolution is. Fear tests you, but it also guides you. It appears just when you're crossing the threshold that separates the old version of you from the one you're destined to be. Don't try to eliminate it, use it. Transform the trembling into drive, the doubt into focus, the anxiety into energy. Every step you take while trembling strengthens your character, and over time you discover that what used to paralyze you now propels you. Strength does not come from not being afraid, but from learning to live with it without giving up. The people you admire also felt fear. The difference is that they didn't stay there. They acted anyway, and that's what made them move forward. Life rewards the one who dares, not the one who justifies. If you wait to feel comfortable, you'll remain trapped in the same patterns, repeating the same days, dreaming of a version of you that you'll never see born. Fear is the guardian of your greatest achievements. Every time you face it, you get closer to your purpose. So don't see it as an enemy, see it as a sign. If something scares you, it's probably what you need to do the most. Tremble, but do it anyway, because courage is not shown when everything is clear, but when you decide to move forward in the midst of chaos. You don't need certainty, just determination. And when you act from that determination, life opens up. Opportunities appear, and fear, little by little, loses its power over you. Do it trembling, do it with doubts, do it with a racing heart, but do it. Because true courage never feels comfortable, it only feels alive. 9. Destroy the version that no longer represents you. There comes a point in the journey where you must have the courage to look at yourself with brutal honesty and acknowledge that you are no longer the person you once were, not because you have failed, but because you have grown. However, many insist on continuing to play a role that no longer fits them. They dress in old habits, relate to those who no longer vibrate the same, and strive to fit into a story that has already ended. They don't do it out of conviction, they do it out of fear. Fear of breaking the image that the world expects to see. Destroying the version that no longer represents you is not losing yourself, it's finding yourself. It means letting go of the identity you created to survive and daring to build a more real one. The person you were was necessary to get here, but if you keep being her, you won't move beyond. Each stage of life demands a new version, more conscious, lighter, freer. But that version will not be born if you do not have the courage to let the previous one die. The problem is that we fall in love with our masks. We cling to the characters we invented to be accepted, to the attitudes that once protected us, to the ideas that gave us security. But what saved you in the past may be the same thing that is limiting you today. Destroying that version is not a betrayal, it's an act of maturity. It means recognizing that you no longer need to pretend strength, that you no longer have to prove anything, that you are no longer willing to continue acting out of fear of judgment. Destruction in reality is a disguised rebirth. It is the fire that purifies the false. Yes, it will hurt. There will be parts of you that scream to stay, that tell you not to change, that remind you that everything was easier before. But the comfort of the past does not compensate for the price of living asleep. Growing is burning. It's undoing what no longer fits, even if it hurts, even if it leaves you empty for a while. Because that emptiness is the space where your truth is reborn. Destroying a version of you is not burning your history. It's freeing your energy from everything that no longer has a purpose. It's understanding that you're not obligated to carry your old decisions nor your old mistakes. It's letting go of the need to continue looking like who you were, to be able to become who you really are. There is no growth without loss. There is no transformation without rupture. You can't keep wanting to move forward if you're not willing to demolish what keeps you small. So look at yourself head on and ask, who am I holding on to that I should let go of? What part of me has already fulfilled its function? When you answer with courage, you will begin to rebuild yourself from authenticity. Destroy the version that no longer represents you, not out of hatred but out of love. Because if you dare to break yourself, you will discover that beneath all the layers, beneath all the masks, there is still something pure, something intact, your essence. And that only rebirths when you stop fearing the fire of change. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment, "I am Stoic," as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.